Gro Genetics was started a few years ago. The whole purpose of the company was to invest into various breeding programs and research and development of soybean varieties, higher yields, disease resistance, cyst resistance, higher protein levels, and so on.
A couple of years ago, I was approached by the company Gro Genetics. They were interested in working with us and investing in our program to develop varieties for Ukraine and some other countries in Europe. The reason being that some of our previously developed varieties have done well in those regions because of a similar latitude and climate. And as a result, they thought that if they invested more money into our program, we would be able to develop new varieties that would be even better than the previous ones.
Gro has been investing very heavily into research and development programs for soybean genetics at the University of Guelph, along with some others. Guelph has got a track record second to none for developing high-yielding varieties with the characteristics the food markets are looking for.
The research that we carry out at the University of Guelph is focused on developing varieties of soybeans, mostly for Ontario farmers, but also for other provinces and other countries if they are adapted to those regions. The varieties that we develop at Guelph are mainly from the maturity groups from 00 to about group 1. So we cover several different maturity groups. The main focus in terms of traits is high yield, disease resistance, good quality seed, meaning high protein and oil content.
Gro Genetics has been very successful in the soybean program, predominantly because of our experience in the export market. We also work with many end users overseas in Asia, Europe, and so on, who are looking for soybean varieties that have very specific characteristics, whether it be protein or sucrose or what have you. And of course, at the same time, it's still very important that the soybean varieties yield well for the producer. So we've built this program around those needs and have expanded it to other areas. Gro Genetics has developed a number of varieties that seem to be very well suited in Ukraine along with Europe. As you're aware, the lines of latitude between southwestern Ontario and Ukraine particularly, and parts of Europe, are on the same lines of latitude, and we find that these varieties have performed extremely well in Ukraine and other areas.
So the benefit of the federal government matching the industry funds from the organization called the National Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, or ANSER, are multiple. And one of them is that we were able to hire a PhD student who will be conducting yield trials of soybeans both in Canada and in Ukraine to look at genetic adaptation to find molecular markers that will help us breed soybeans more efficiently. So long-term goals of our program are to continue developing and providing good genetics to our farmers in Canada and also internationally. Anyone who is interested in non-GM soybeans can look to our program to provide the genetics for them.
Gro Genetics takes the quality of seed very seriously. When the University of Guelph introduces new varieties for us to test, we go through a very extensive program here in southwestern Ontario to be sure that the varieties are suitable for Ukraine. On top of that, we have multiple test sites in Ukraine to be assured that the varieties will yield, quality is there, and are suitable for that climate as well. Long term is our goal to be sure we've got varieties that are viable for these markets.
We are in this collaboration for the long haul. Both of us are interested in working together and helping each other to bring more good soybean varieties to the market worldwide.